Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope all of you guys are doing well. So, I wanted to give you guys my initial thoughts on Deadpool and the Wolverine. This is not going to be a review or anything, but just sharing my thoughts on what I thought of the film. Um, I really enjoyed this movie. I saw it yesterday and I was very entertained. It was really enjoyable, funny, great story, great cameos. I mean, just all in all, it was entertaining from beginning to end. I know there's been a lot of people who felt disappointed, and I feel like when you get attached to a beloved franchise, whether that's X-Men or the Marvel films, I feel like when you get too attached, you get disappointed when a new film comes out. And I can understand some disappointment, but this movie, I thought, was exactly what we were expecting. And I can see some issues with this film. There were some things I was like, oh, okay, you know, didn't care too much for that. But all in all, I thought the story was pretty enjoyable. Generic to some extent, but enjoyable. The cameos were great. I will be honest, I was expecting a little bit more. There are some cameos you didn't even know until you look at the credits. I will state that. But all in all, I think it was just a fun, good time. It had you laughing from beginning to end, and I feel like that's what's important, is just to be entertained by a film. But it was definitely worth it, in my opinion. Now, I will eventually do a review down the road. I do want to revisit the first two films, so it will be a little while till I review that. But what I do want to share with you guys is the stuff that I had to go through just get to this movie. Well, to some extent. So first and foremost, trying to get to the theater was a hassle. Now, I live in Florida where we get a high traffic of tourists during the summer. I live next to three cities, Destin, Panama City, and Pensacola. And during the summer, these places are packed with tourists. And of course, you got the Florida locals as well. So getting there was a hassle because we were bumper to bumper at the toll bridge. We do have a toll bridge. So that was crazy. And we even left like over an hour early. Our movie wasn't until 12. So we finally get, to our location. We're not sure how it works with online tickets. So the kiosk wasn't working. It wasn't even a line, but the person trying to pay for their ticket was taking forever with the clerk. While you still got people waiting in line. So finally, after noticing another few people who had their phone with tickets, they were able to get them scanned in line. So we just walked in the theater, got that taken care of, and then we went to the concession stand. The concession stand was packed. It was crazy because it was packed inside, but outside, hardly anybody. So the great thing about the theater is that you can order your concession online. So they have a little like pickup cart. So you just go see where your order is and then pick up your items. I thought that was great. So that kind of helped us rather than sitting in line. So after, we go to use the restroom and then grab our stuff, our popcorn and drink, we go into our auditorium that our movie is playing. This lady was nice to hold the door for me, and as I'm walking in, which is plenty of space for me to walk in, and right after I said thank you for her holding the door, someone in the theater decides to use the others to remind you my father had walked in, so the guy knew there were people coming in. As I'm literally walking in, he decides to open up the other door. And as he opens up the other door, it actually hits me in my arm. I try to balance my popcorn as best as I could, but half of my popcorn falls to the floor and half of my drink falls to the floor. And I'm kind of sitting there like a little frustrated because I'm in pain. That he forced that door. It wasn't like a nice, open, he forced it enough. And even though as I'm sitting there because I'm in pain, even the lady's like, well, they can refill it, they refill it. And, your adrenaline kind of kicks in. I didn't want to come off like rude or anything. And, there was a lot of people. So I just walked. I was a little frustrated. Thankfully, the people at the counter at the concession stand allow they were able to refill our popcorn and give us a brand new drink. So as frustrated as I was, I got even more frustrated when I found out the damage of my arm. It actually ended up bruising up, and then ended up getting a really, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it. Oh yeah, you can. That right there, as you guys can see, that is what I sustained walking into the theater. As I'm walking in, like I said, he pushes the door enough force. And then he sits there and is like, well, I was trying to hold the door from. No, you weren't. I mean, come on. Like, the space between me and the door I was going through was plenty of space, and he knew I was coming in. So yeah, that really frustrated me the most compared to trying to get to the theater. But yeah, it's kind of one of the reasons why I don't go to theaters, because people just don't have any common sense. I remember when I saw Fright Night, that was a pretty crappy experience. But what can you do? Um, I do plan to eventually go see Beetlejuice and The Crow, so I'm hoping that the experience to seeing that is a little bit better. But yeah, that's kind of what happened. I just figured I'd share my story on that situation, just kind of give you my initial thoughts on Deadpool. But with that being said, I'm Film Talk with Mikey. Till next time, we'll talk films. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time, and don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. See you guys soon.